Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're bringing some serious energy and clarity to a piece of internet wisdom you've probably seen a million times. We're going to break down some insightful writing by an author named Shay Fang, and we're basically going to test whether a phrase we hear all the time actually holds up in the real world.
You know the one, right? We've all seen this inspirational quote floating around our social media feeds. It's usually pasted over like a beautiful sunset or some misty mountain peak. It's totally designed to make us feel better about our hardships, kind of suggesting there's this grand, positive design behind every single interaction we have. Well, today we're actually going to critically examine the logic behind these words.
So, let's just dive right into it and ask ourselves, is this super comforting statement actually universally true? Like, is absolutely every person and every event really functioning as a stepping stone to your success? Our source material today argues a very firm no, and we're going to unpack exactly why this incredibly popular viewpoint might just be fundamentally flawed. Section 1. Defining success. Now, to really get this, we kind of need to play a little game of semantics. If we interpret success to mean literally any final outcome, whether that means achieving spiritual enlightenment or, as the author kind of strangely puts it, devolving into a pig, then yeah, sure, the quote works. But let's be real here. If we take success to mean gaining positive achievements, which is how 99% of us actually interpret it, then this popular viewpoint is entirely mistaken.
Moving on to Section 2, the accumulation of influence.
Look at this basic human reality. If you ask a fully grown adult which specific meal helped them grow up, they couldn't point to just one, right? Obviously, every single meal since birth played a role. Well, it's the exact same logic for our internal growth. A person's character, their temperament, and their worldview at, say, age 70, that's the direct accumulated result of every single person and event that entered their life over those decades.
So, here's the crucial point. It is absolutely true that everything influences us. There is simply no denying that every single interaction leaves a mark, just like every meal adds to your physical makeup. But, and this is a big but, acknowledging an impact is not the same as saying it's a positive impact. We've got to relentlessly question the ultimate direction of that influence.
Which brings us to Section 3, when influence turns toxic. The author poses some genuinely tough questions here. If absolutely everything helps you succeed, well, how do we explain someone becoming a rogue? Or how does someone end up spiritually ruined? Or, metaphorically speaking, reincarnating as a pig? If the universe is only sending us success, where in the world do these massive failures of character come from? The jarring reality, according to the source, is that these negative, kind of absurd outcomes are also the direct result of the people and events they accumulated in their lives. I mean, the rogue wasn't built in a vacuum, right? They were shaped by negative influences, bad actors, and toxic events that slowly molded their temperament over time. Let's escalate this even further with a very stark example from the text. This is about the fatal accumulation of stress and anger. We've all heard colloquial stories, or maybe even medical realities, of people whose health just completely collapses under the weight of extreme rage or stress. People literally dying from anger. So who actually caused that immense stress? Well, naturally, it was the people and events that came into their life. That certainly wasn't a success story. It was the toxic people and the really damaging events in their life that pushed them to that fatal edge. Those influences didn't lift them up. They literally destroyed them. And think about something incredibly tragic, like a massive fire, leaving someone in a vegetative state. The author uses this intense imagery to sort of break the spell of that toxic positivity quote. I mean, does it make any logical sense whatsoever to stand in front of that tragedy and claim that the fire was there to help them succeed? Of course not. It's an absolutely absurd application of the phrase. Now, if you're still kind of unsure about the flaw in this idea, or if those last examples just felt a bit too extreme, let's bring it back to a frustrating everyday scenario that I think we can all relate to. Just think about your own life right now. Imagine someone who is constantly throwing tantrums, complaining, and just dumping all their negativity onto you. Imagine a person looking you in the eye and constantly downloading these highly toxic phrases into your brain on a daily basis. Things like, life is unbearable, or living is pointless. Or maybe they turn it directly on you, saying, you always mess things up, or you're such a cruel person. Honestly, after enduring that day in and day out, would you still be in a good mood? You really have to ask yourself honestly, is enduring this complaining, toxic person genuinely a stepping stone to your success? The author argues emphatically that it is absolutely not. They're not some secret test from the universe sent to make you stronger. They are simply a negative force draining your energy and actively hindering your positive achievements. And that brings us to Section 4, the true catalysts of success.
When we look closely at the source material, we can clearly see that only people and events carrying specific positive qualities are actually acting as catalysts for your success. We're talking about truth, kindness, beauty, love, faithfulness, and sincerity. When events and people bring these specific traits into your life, they are nourishing your character exactly like a healthy meal nourishes your physical body. These are the inputs that actually lead to the positive achievements we defined as true success earlier.
But on the exact opposite end, if the influences in your life carry dark traits, if they are false, evil, ugly, hateful, deceitful, or hypocritical, they are not secretly helping you succeed through some complex cosmic lesson. The author states it pretty plainly. They are actively dragging you into hell. They're just pulling your character and your temperament downward, plain and simple.
So I want to leave you with this final thought to help you critically examine your own inner circle. Because as we've seen in this explainer, not every influence is a positive one. Take a really hard look at the people closest to you right now. Based on what we've learned today, are their traits genuinely lifting you up to success, or are they actually dragging you down? It's a hugely powerful question to ask, isn't it? And answering it honestly, well, it just might change who you allow to influence your life moving forward.